Dez Wright is your favorite producer's favorite producer. He's worked with some of the biggest names in the industry, including Travis, Kanye, Drake, and many more. But why are people like Weezy and Kato addicted to his samples? In this video, I'll be diving into what makes a Dez Wright sample, and then I'll be breaking down a sample I made inspired by him. So there are three main components to a Dez Wright sample: a repetitive synth lead, some synth chords, and live instruments like a guitar or vocals. Dez uses a variety of synths to create his samples, and from his videos, I've found that he has a Prophet 10, CS60, Moog Matriarch, just to name a few. And obviously, not all of us have access to crazy synths like that. So when I made my sample, I went to Analog Lab and filtered by the instruments which are similar to the ones that he uses. So I started off my sample by just filtering down to the CS80, and I found this synth preset from Kavi, and it's just playing this repetitive lead pattern. And for the effects, I added a Kickstarter to get that pulsing effect, and then an EQ to cut out some of the lows. And in one video, I saw Dez using halftime on the lead, which is what I did in this part here. The next sound is from the CS80 on Analog Lab. It's the big crystal bells, and I played this chord progression on my MIDI keyboard. And for the effects, I just added a OTT and then an EQ to cut out some of the lows. I then added this counter lead from Analog Lab, and it's just playing a super simple pattern. And for the effects, I added a shaper box to pan left and right, and then an EQ to cut out some of the low mid frequency so it didn't clash with anything else. As mentioned, Dez loves to use live instruments like guitars or vocals in his samples. I don't have an acoustic guitar, so I used my ukulele for one part instead. And for the effects, I added an NS1 to get rid of the noise, a guitar amp stereo with the presence and warm preset, an effect track with the CE1 chorus preset, fruity flangus, and two halftimes. One of them, the mix is down 30, and then the other halftime is just to add another section to the guitar. And the last sound I added was this bass from the mini Moog on Analog Lab. It's just copying the root notes of the chords. And then what I did is I routed everything onto one mixer track, and I added a Kramer tape stereo just to give it kind of like that analog vintage type feel. And I think what I did was route that onto another mixer track, and I added a effect track with the basic vintage punch preset, and then a CLA 2A just to glue everything together. So this is what version 1 of the sample sounds like. Dez is known to flip his own samples once he's done. So what I did is I bounced my sample out into audio, I reversed it, pitched it down 2 semitones, and I just cut out every chord change and then rearranged it so the chord progression stayed the same. And this is what this sounds like. And in some cases like Let Her Go by Don Toliver, Dez added his own drums. So I added some drums from a new drum kit that I'm working on, and this is what that sounds like by itself. And if you liked any of the sounds used in this video, you can check out my site with all my drum kits and sample packs and whatnot. And I also have a pack of 20 free samples just like this that you guys can get down below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Instagram at LouisOblin to stay connected, and here's the final full beat.